Hello Imaginanet friends, I'm Mild Kratz. This is my 50th video, so what should have been a glorious triumphant moment has become something of an ill-fated nightmare, for myself at least, where I was trying to get my mixer to work and so that I could improve the quality of the sound of my show, but instead it's going to sound like I'm talking through a tin can tied to a radiator. So I guess that's just life, and these things happen. Much to everyone but my own's delight, though, I will be playing My Summer Car, a game that kind of got me, I don't know, I want to say a game that got me most of my subscribers, or like at least, was where I noticed my sharpest increase, and maybe has some of my longest watching subscribers. Increase, so maybe has some of my longest watching subscribers. Sorry, I'm just getting my own. Hey, Fluffy's out there. How's it going, Fluffy? Just playing this game. Not amongst my favorites, maybe, but people seem to like when I play it, so going back to playing it. Alright, have you ever seen this game, by the way? I'm doing well. How about yourself? Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm starting over. Alright, the program crashed. That's another pretty good sign. Things are really not going to plan tonight at all. So I guess that's how my day is realistically going. Like in the last hour, things have taken a turn. I won't say for the worst, but like, or for the worst, but the night's not going the way I was hoping it would. I basically ordered a bunch of new audio equipment. I was hoping that maybe things would sound better. And I just generally can't get any of it to work. So, cool. I'm gonna turn permadeath off. That's a fun picture of me right there. That's just a little Easter egg for those of you who are curious. That's me probably in like the 2nd or 3rd grade when, my teeth were still super shifty and gross. Ah, okay, well, you can obviously rectify that mistake at any time by turning alerts on, and then you'll know within seconds when I'm playing the games that I wish I wasn't playing. Like My Summer Car. Nothing wrong with this game necessarily, but you know what? I think it's designed well in such a way that it is difficult to play and is a troll, and I think that's why most people enjoy it. I mean, it's cool and it's unique too, but like realistically, I think people like, the elements of it that are kind of annoying. Alright, there's our engine block. I guess you'll use this as a comparison to see how much more quickly I can put things together, and whether it seems as though I now have a better understanding of what I'm doing or not. Where are you at, guys? There we go. Don't be lazy. Put your car together. Put your dad's car together. Alright. Let's put that there. I don't know why, but these bearings, I don't know if you have to put them on in order or something, but until you have them all over here next to the table, they seemingly don't do much. When will I live stream Batman Episode 3? It's definitely among my things to do. It's got to be within the next day or so. I work tomorrow, and so I would presume I'm gonna get back to that Saturday, but I don't know. What time is it for me now? So right now where I'm at, it is early o'clock in the morning. It is like 2:15 in the morning, thereabouts. Do I have to spin these so that they're lined up or something? I've never gotten this. Getting these bearing cap things on is like a nightmare. You know, I was training my hardest to not embarrass myself in this game again, playing a lot of Car Mechanic Simulator and stuff like that. But it's obviously not really working for me right now. Oh, you know what? No, I shouldn't have to just yet, right? Do I have to put the pistons in first? That's not a thing, is it? No. No, it is not. Alright. Why are these such a pain? I remember these being the worst part of the engine, basically. Like, everything else kind of isn't that bad. Even putting the engine in, I think it was easier for me than just finding the place to put these on. Awesome. You're the best kind of fan then there is to have there, Fluffy. I'm hoping you noticed, I mean, I think you ended up loving my comment I left on your playthrough of episode 3. But yeah, I stopped by your channel just to take a look real quick. It's kind of cool. Are you ever going to do any kind of like face cam kind of thing, like I do with the webcam? So that people can see your beautiful face, like mine? This is a nightmare. Alright, come on. Uh, 213, yeah. I see, so you're being a rebel. Alright, well I won't tell your parents because you're tuning into my channel and I appreciate it. Also, I have no idea where they are or, like, why would I... You know, why do I care? I'm just glad you're here. Apparently there's at least some other people in the channel too, so if any of you are out there and, you know, have maybe a Google account or a keyboard in front of you, you can certainly say hey. And who knows, with how interactive some of these things are nowadays, I might even say hey back. Alright, just gonna start throwing pieces on the and then, you know, trying to screw them on here in a second. I'm kind of messing up because you shouldn't put the exterior parts of the car on probably until you have everything else figured out, just because you could basically just damage them. But whatever, I just want to get some progress made tonight. I don't want to overthink this or anything. Like, basically this car is still going to look like a bunch of crap by the time I'm done with it. Let's try 10. I don't think 10's right. 10 is right. I would think it would have been one of the bigger ones, but who knows. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into having a YouTube channel, and a lot of it are like equipment expenses. And I thought maybe I had figured everything out with like my sound, and it was going to sound better, and I was going to do, you know, and I was ready to be all excited and have, you know, conquered that tonight. But unfortunately, so I was trying to run all my sound through a mixer, which would make it sound really nice and allow me to like do some nice fun things and adjust levels on the fly. And all of that would have been great, but basically you can get a ground loop when you do that sort of thing, and that's just a bunch of like low frequency like hums and hisses and that sort of thing. Nice. Batman the Telltale series tomorrow. Very cool. I might check that out then. I think I did you the... I can't remember if I subbed to you or not, but I can take a look at your channel here after this. This is one of the games that, I don't know, people seem to enjoy watching. I think the reason being is that it's not hard, but it's purposefully frustrating, right? So, and among the things, you're seeing one of the things right here that's frustrating about it. In other games that make you do things mechanically like this, they might have you screw some things in, but they'll just let you do it with the click of a mouse button, as opposed to running back and forth and trying to figure out what size socket you're supposed to use or whatever. Yeah, see, and that's what I remembered is that you are 10. So like you're waiting on what, Christmas, birthdays, any of those sort of things? I think YouTube is a cool and fun thing to do though. Like, I mean, I obviously enjoy doing it. That's why I try to stay so active. But I don't know. Like I do have to also manage having a life around a lot of this stuff too. Unfortunately. So who knows with how the internet and things work these days. Maybe at some point, you know, I'll have enough subscribers and people who watch my channel to sustainably, you know, kind of just do this as a living or as more actively a hobby than it is right now. But who could ever tell? I if someone's out there who knows what I'm doing wrong, because I can't think of anything that I'm doing wrong with this engine block. Go ahead and tell me, because I'm quite certain these go on. Yeah, see, finally. So I guess it's just super finicky where these go on in particular. But I usually start this game out by like, this is so frustrating. I had it for half a second. There we go. Okay, cool. I feel like once you have the first one on, like the other two aren't as bad. Not quite as nightmarish. Yeah. It's like everything in this game has to be so precise and just, I don't know. Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense too. Yeah, you gotta be. Yeah, I guess the reason being is like if you have AdSense and you're making any money off of YouTube, then like you've got to basically you have to be able to, I think, pay taxes on the money that YouTube's going to be giving you. Like if they're basically your employer, yeah, you probably have to like file W-2s and stuff or any of that, depending on how much money you do make on YouTube. And I don't know how much money people really make on YouTube. Like I have an idea of how the revenue is calculated, right? But realistically, I think where people make their money on YouTube, people who have any fans or anything, is through, you know, merchandising or people who are famous enough. I mean, there are certain YouTubers I would probably go and meet in person just to like see them do their show live or just to hang out. Like a couple of them, have you ever heard of or are you familiar with the Game Grumps? Like Aaron Hansen and Dan Abaddon. Like they do this stuff basically as a living, which is really cool. But they also go on tour and do it like live in front of audiences. And whereas that might be a little bit terrifying, I think it'd also be a lot of fun. You know, man, this game will not cut you a break. Because like, here's the thing, when you're putting together something like this mechanically, you can kind of tell how close you are based on just like, you'll put a wrench around something, you'll see like, oh, it's off by a little bit or like practically nothing at all. And that will kind of inform you if you need to go up one wrench, down one wrench, up two, down two. But this game, like, it's just kind of so random and torturous that you'll just never really know. Well, yeah, no, I get that. Like, I think everyone looks at PewDiePie for like how much money he's probably making and everything, and to look at it like that, I know that basically the way YouTubers make their money is like through advertisements. Those like skippable videos at the beginning, I would say ads like those, and the ones on the sides, like basically cost per impression or cost per play, they make about $4 or $5 for every 1,000 people they expose to ads like those. So like for every 1,000 ads played on their channel, for every 1,000 views they have, and it doesn't even necessarily equate to 1,000 views because some people use, you know, ad blockers and whatever, but for about every 1,000 views they get like $4 or $5. So it's hardly enough to pay the bills either, unless, like you're saying, you have millions and millions of fans, in which case, you know, if your video's 2.5 million views, you're getting paid $4 25,000 times, which equates to $100,000. there is, of course, money to be made on YouTube, but it's not quick or easy. Like, I think anyone who's been doing it for Game Grumps, yeah. If you're 10, I can't in good conscience necessarily recommend them to you, just because like some of their humor is a little more like adult. I think they are pretty funny, but they're definitely not as clean as I am or anything. I think a fun, clean gaming channel that, if you haven't heard of this guy, I'll give him a quick plug real quick, even though he doesn't need it. I think he's probably like 2 million subscribers or more. Have you heard of Peanut Butter Gamer? He's probably among my favorites. And he's kind of friends. He's friends with Space Hamster. His name is Jeff, and also Brutal Moose, who is Ian. Both of those guys are pretty clean too. I think Space Hamster is equally clean, and then Ian. Yeah, he swears every once in a while, but he's mostly pretty good. All right, so I need to pull up the parts list for this because this is otherwise a nightmare. It's going to take forever. Yeah, let's see here. Bolt sizes, what I want. Okay. This could take forever regardless whether I do this or not, but like just having to guess every time, you know, I go down here and grab a tool is for me at least torturous. Like, I don't know. There we go. I don't know of who really wants to be in my channel just watching that too, so let me see. Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, Pewds. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how. I think part of the problem with PewDiePie right now is because of the whole controversy he had with the whole, like, Fiverr video he made and being pegged as a Nazi, which is completely unfair and unmerited, unjustifiable, all of those things. Like, he is unfortunately probably not getting the correct advertisers out in front of him, so like maybe he is getting hit harder than some of these other guys. But I think too, like, especially people like Markiplier, and even like PewDiePie, he probably makes a lot of his money doing streams like this, but I think he also takes donations and, like, you know, accepts money from people and that sort of thing. And like, it's not as though that's not something I wouldn't do long term, but I mean, I'm still not, you know, able to monetize my channel just yet. And then secondly, like, I have to kind of think about whether I want to do that and to what level I want to do that anyway, because I'm not really on the internet here to just necessarily be a beggar. I think if I do provide people with entertainment, that's good. Like, and I'm here to, you know, feel like a friend and that sort of thing. But like, what do I want to do here? This thing, cylinder head, cool. And cylinder head. There we go. Oh, I'm so tired tonight. Yeah. Another YouTuber like them with adult humor and lots of swearing. Mark does charity live streams, donating thousands of dollars, which I think is very good. That's what I'm trying to get into next. I'm trying to support, like, I doubt you have much of an idea who Kevin Smith is. Have you ever heard of Kevin Smith? He's a director. He is, if you've ever seen anything Jay and Silent Bob, he's the character, or he's the actor who portrays Silent Bob. But anyway, I guess whether you've heard of him or not, it's kind of less important than he has a charity called the Wayne Foundation, and the Wayne Foundation is the fictional charity that exists inside of the Batman universe, like, you know, Bruce Wayne, Thomas Wayne, any of those things. So that's the name of his foundation, and what it does is that it tries to stop human sex trafficking, which is a really like kind of messed up and hard to fight terrible issue that happens a lot here in the United States. And basically, like, you know, young people, most specifically young girls, will get kidnapped and then forced into doing terrible sexual acts that are, you know, that they shouldn't have to have any knowledge of or interest in for their age or anything. It's just, it's, I don't know, it's a really terrible, like, completely messed up problem. And yeah, so his charity is run by someone who went through an experience like that and is now trying to fight against people who do those sort of things. Kevin Smith, he might have a YouTube channel, if I'm honest. But, I mean, he's certainly on YouTube. He's kind of a big chubby dude like me. I don't know, he's probably fatter than I am most. Well, I guess he's lost a lot of weight recently, too. But he's kind of a chubby dude. He wears hockey jerseys a lot. He directed Clerks, Clerks 2, Mallrats, Tusk, Red State. What else? I mean, just a lot of movies. He's a director, and he's got a few podcasts. I don't know if you know or listen to too many podcasts or anything, but he's got one called Fat Man on Batman. It's all about Batman. Yeah. Yeah, so like, but his charity is run by someone who grew up in that environment and escaped it, and she's doing everything now that she can, obviously, to fight back against that. And I think that's a really important and worthy cause to fight for. But I think people don't tend to fight for it very often, just because it's kind of, it's not like embarrassing for anyone, I don't think, to say that it happens, but people just don't like to think about it happening, or they don't like to talk about it. But the thing is, whether, you know, we don't want to talk about it or think about it, it's a problem that definitely still exists, and unless we do something about it, it's not going to go away. So sorry, I'm trying to talk and be entertaining and all those sort of things, but I'm also trying to figure out how to put this engine together, hopefully a little bit faster than I did last time. And I don't know how I'm doing because I took forever to get those cam bearings on or whatever. Or yeah, like crankshaft bearings, whatever it was. I think there's 5 bolts for these headers. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, okay, he does. He's it's called Fat Man on Batman. I know it's for sure a podcast. I don't know if there's a video series for it or not. Actually, I think there might be. And he's his co-host, I think, for that now is, I can't remember. He's a black dude and he's bald and he's really funny. He's got like a really contagious laugh. But yeah, he does Fat Man on Batman. It's a podcast, probably turned YouTube channel. And he's cool, but he's also like, I don't know, he does some adult humor and stuff and whatever. His movies are very adult humor. But, I mean, I guess the point I was trying to talk about him or whatever, bring him up in general, is that he just, like I was saying, his charity is one that's really cool. I like that it's named after, you know, like the fictional Batman universe, Bruce Wayne and everything. Uh-oh, did I mess up here? No, there we go. I was going to say, I thought maybe I couldn't pick this up now because I made it too heavy, but I think you just have to be clicking specifically on the block to actually move this. Alright, let's get these spark plugs in, maybe. Should be able to do that. There we go. Oh, he has an AMC, I think it's an AMC show called Comic Book Men. And so he owns a comic book store in New Jersey, and I think he's also in one in LA called Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, I believe. And so that's actually a pretty popular show on AMC, but he has encyclopedic knowledge of comic books, and it's a show about him and his friends that also know a lot about comic books, hanging out and managing a comic book store. It's kind of like Pawn Stars a little bit. Yeah, so that's certainly the dude, and he's a really cool guy. He still is directing movies and everything, but he's the guy who is certainly behind financing the charity, even if he's not necessarily the person who like takes care of the day-to-day financials and that sort of thing. He's definitely the inspiration for and the kind of like the leader behind this charity called the Wayne Foundation. And so because they are a charitable foundation coming from the Batman universe, I think what I want to do is do a charity live stream for. I'm thinking 24 hours. I think I'm going to commit to 24 hours, and I want to try and do, if I can. I'm not going to try and torture myself over it just to do it, but I'd like to play 24 hours of Batman games. So at that point, if there's anything left of the Telltale series, episode 1, I'd probably finish that at that time, and then probably and hopefully move on to season 2 at some point. Probably also play through Arkham Asylum, which I've obviously started doing a little bit. Arkham City, Arkham Knight. If I'm really stretched for time, I might play Arkham Origins, but it's not my favorite. Probably before I would even play Arkham Origins, I might play. There's a better chance that I would play Lego Batman, like 2 or 3. Probably 2. I don't think I have 3 on PC. If I'm gonna buy a game for this charity live stream to play, it'll probably be Telltale Season 2. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my hope with becoming a YouTuber and, you know, trying to do all the same things everyone else is. Obviously, I love having new subscribers. I love checking out other people's channels and things like that. But I would love to do this as a career. But for a few different reasons, and not the least of which being, like, it's something where I feel like I could make a difference. And I would love to do charity live streams, you know, with some regular consistency. But I also want to make sure I'm able to pay my own bills and things like that. So I'm really a firm believer in the fact that you can't really help anyone else until you have your own things taken care of. And I don't know, that's a weird thing to think about, but it's honestly true. You got to take care of yourself first before you can take care of other people. Oh, that's a little frustrating. Actually, I think I can still do it. I didn't see that I hadn't put these other 2 pistons in. Well, that's no good. I think I can still do it, though. Come on. Come on. Oh, no. So, sometimes, have you played any Assassin's Creed games? Interestingly, I was thinking about downloading one of them the other day, because I thought, you know, like, it kind of doesn't matter what you're streaming, it's more just, like, what you're saying and, like, you know, who's there to watch you and whatever. So I was thinking about streaming an Assassin's Creed game, and of the ones that I have, I think I technically have Syndicate, and I haven't really played it much. Oh, I messed up. I messed up bad. Alright, well, I'm going to stop building the engine because I'm frustrated at this point. I should have put this piston in, and now I think I basically have to deconstruct half my engine to get it back inside the car. No, what am I doing? But yeah, how much do I make? Doing my current job, probably like less than $20,000 a year, which is like barely enough to live on. And yeah, so like I don't know, I'm far from being like rich or anything. And if it seems like I'm spending a lot of money, or I have a lot of money to spend on YouTube channel stuff, it's not that I actually have money I should be spending on YouTube channel stuff. It's just that, like, I don't know, sometimes I spend stuff on material things to help out my channel more than I do, like, I don't know, food to eat for the week. But I'm also, I mean, I'm not in such a place that I don't know, I'm happy with how much money I'm making right now. But there's a number of reasons why I'd like to be a more influential YouTuber. Yeah. So what's your favorite Assassin's Creed game if you've played through more than a few of them? So I've got Syndicate, but I've also got 3 and 4. I think I actually have 1 and 2 and Brotherhood as well. But like some of them I have on Steam and some of them I have on Uplay. Let's see. Oh yeah, Unity. I had Unity too, and I actually got kind of into the whole co-op thing at some point. It was among the only games I had on Xbox One at the time, and a lot of my friends had it too because it was, you know, like it came with your system basically. So I played it with a group of 2 or 3 of my friends, and I mean that was pretty cool. I had a good time with that game. Obviously, that one had a lot of problems when it first came out, though. So I think it kind of got short shrift of how good the game could have actually been, just because people didn't want to keep playing it once they saw how kind of initially broken it was. And I can understand that. Oh, thank you, man. Awesome. I do love to hear that. I do hear it periodically. Maybe in the future I'll hear it more. But I try to, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying my hardest to put out good stuff. I do try to like keep a certain level of quality to my videos that I usually hit. So I don't know. That's why I'm kind of heartbroken over the whole idea that I'm basically playing through my headset microphone tonight, because I really wanted to just get all of my sound issues figured out, and I think in the long run I will. But yeah, I don't know, I work probably too hard on them for as much as like no one's really heard of me, and I don't know, like I'm glad to have you as a fan, by the way. Like it's so much better to have even anyone just hey, what's up? How's it going? I got 2 people in the stream. Wow. Hello. Yeah, so I don't know, I work probably harder on my videos than I should, but it's something I like to do. If you haven't gotten into video editing yet, my guess is maybe you haven't, just because, like you said, you're 10, and you know, like money doesn't come by super easy when you're young, and I get that for sure. Like I definitely remember being 10, even though I'm 3 times that age now. Of which, I mean, I've had different people tell me I also don't look like I'm 30. I think they mean that I look younger. Actually, I think they specifically said that before. But, oh, you know what? I have to deconstruct this part of my engine anyway because I messed up. So I'll be glad to be doing that. Alright, doing good. Glad to hear it. Are you, so Fluffy here, who's also in the channel, is currently up, and he's in a similar time zone to me apparently, because we're both at about, I don't know, what time is it right now, Fluffy? Like a little past 2:30? Yeah, it's like 2:40-ish here. So what time is it where you're coming from? Oh, very cool. 2:39. Yeah, so we must all be in like pretty much the same time zone, which is cool. Yeah, 2:41. Oh, that's right. Okay, I figured it out. So let's say I kind of forget how to take stuff off, because like, I don't know, I think the last time I played through this game, I was watching videos and stuff, and like, just basically like, followed a tutorial of how to put the engine and the car together. And this time I'm just trying to basically do it either from like memory or just by like having played Car Mechanic Simulator 18 a lot. So I'm just trying to like, I don't know, I just want to put this thing together without anyone else's help and see if I can do it. Oh, I wonder if I just That's weird. Like, I somehow unscrewed that spark plug, I think, but I don't actually have, like, the spark plug doohickey. Which is probably what I have to get next if I'm going to take that off. Yeah, I just messed up because I didn't put the pistons on, and then also this, like, rocker cam thing or whatever, rocker shaft, that needs to go on top of that before the engine head, like, cover goes on, so I messed that up for sure. Oh, you did? That's awesome, man. I appreciate you, Fluffy. Yeah, spread the good word if you like what I'm doing here. Like, I don't know, I'm trying my best. Like, I'm not gonna say that I'm amazing, but I do try pretty hard to, like, find... one thing that's difficult is sometimes just finding a way to be funny with different videos and stuff, or, like, just different concepts. And, like, so many people are playing all the newest games right now. I don't know how many specifically, but I'm sure there's probably near 500 or more, like, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds streams going on right now. It's like I could be trying to do that exact same thing and just playing all those same games, but, like, I think playing the same game as everyone else is kind of like the death of originality. And I don't know, I want to do something at least slightly more memorable than that. Or, like, if everyone's... It's just almost kind of how I am, too. Is, like, if everyone's doing one thing, it's almost an excuse for me not to do it. That's how I've gotten so far without watching Game of Thrones, really. Although I'm getting back in... I mean, I'm getting into that now, slowly. But I think it's mostly just because people have stopped begging me to watch it. Nice, you're up to 40 subs. I think as of right now I'm at, like, 63 or something. Unless I've picked up any new subs since the stream started, which my guess would be I probably haven't. Even though I do have, I've got a few people in the stream right now, which is pretty cool, by the way. Nice, shouted me out a couple times. Well, very cool. That kind of makes sense. I did get a few subscribers unsolicitedly the last couple days, like just people randomly adding me on subs, so I was kind of wondering, maybe people are spreading the gospel or whatever you want to say. I appreciate it. I think it's very cool. It's hard with as many people are doing as are doing YouTube right now. It's kind of hard to break out at this point, or to, you know, get known. I mean the best way to do it is just keep doing it, probably. So I have been, but man, I've been making this probably my first, like, job, and, like, my second job has probably fallen to the wayside a little bit because of it. And actually, as of right now, nice, sub with the bell button, very cool. Yeah, I definitely recognize, like, as soon as you're in here. I'm trying to decipher some of your name here. So FNF, I'm guessing, Five Nights at Freddy's, Yas, Creeper Fan 102. So it's quite the long name. And so you have videos and you do YouTube stuff as well, huh? That's pretty cool. I have to check that out. What kind of stuff do you play, and, like, what do you play on? I mean, obviously it sounds like you're a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of person. And, like, horror games, I mean, I'm going to have to play them on this channel eventually, I think, just because people want to see it. People love seeing horror games. I think people like seeing genuine, true reactions to, like, things that are terrifying. But I'm the biggest chicken ever, like, for real. I hate horror games, like, even if they're just really cheesy, stupid ones. Like, I'm going to try and maybe, I'm going to try to maybe, like, you know, take a few baby steps into playing them. So I think, like, I've played a little bit of Dead by Daylight. I've played a little bit of Friday the 13th, and neither one of those I don't feel like are that terrifying, just because, like, you're playing with other people, and, like, you have kind of a team, and, pardon me, the serial killer that's, like, trying to chase everyone down and stuff, although terrifying, is admittedly also, you know, divided his attention amongst at least, you know, 2 or 3 other people. Nice. Oh yeah, Roblox. That's something else that I'm interested in, at least a little bit. Like, I don't know, I think I'm probably a little bit old to be playing Roblox, but I mean, whatever. That's something I love, by the way, about the gaming community, is that people seem to be very inclusive. I think there's a lot of, like, people that say that gamers are mean and whatever and like unwelcoming and like they don't like women or this and that or whatever, but like honestly, and I know I'm not a woman, so like my perspective on that is a little bit skewed, but like I've never had any bad experiences with gamers for the most part. I mean, I think everyone gets some trash talk talked on them and that sort of thing, but like if you don't tend to take that sort of stuff personally, I've not really had too many bad experiences, I don't know, playing games with people online. Okay, no, the computer. Gotcha. They added smoking? Huh. No, I didn't know that. That's interesting. And hey, how's it going, Sammy? I don't think I've seen you since the last time I was playing this game. Which I'm guessing this is probably amongst one of your favorites. Yeah, I seem to remember there not being anything in the fridge. Although, yeah, there's a couple sausages, right? Yeah, we can do that, at least for the time being. I guess it's as good a time as any to take this into the van, down to the boat, make my way over to the store. Actually, never mind, it's not a good time for that because it looks like the sun's going down. And although I don't really have much of a clock, I'm guessing that means the store is not going to be available until tomorrow. So that's fine. Looks like my guy's not really hungry or thirsty. Need to take care of some urine issues, but that's among the easier things to do here. And as far as dirtiness, like I've at least got the sauna going at this point, so who knows. I gotta do some truck sim, very cool. So like American Truck Simulator or Euro Truck, like Euro Truck Simulator 2. Well, if you don't have a computer, I guess like what truck sim is available not on computer? I guess I really haven't been paying attention to that. If I buy a truck simulator game, it's for sure going to be like on a computer. I usually buy computer games just because it's cheaper. Oh, both. Okay, very cool. I think between the two, I actually like Euro Truck Simulator a little bit better. I don't know, it just seems like it's more of a finished product than American Truck Simulator. Plus the games, I'm pretty sure, are developed in some part of Europe, so it feels like they know what they're talking about a little bit better in Euro Truck Simulator. I wonder if I didn't... Yeah, I screwed that on. I didn't screw the spark plugs back in, though, I don't think. I tried to figure out why so many people seem to like watching streams of this game. I don't know if it's that, like, they... You know, so many of the people... I mean, it is interesting somewhat, the game, but I don't know. I think it's also a lot of people who watch streams of this game also know this game really well. So they just kind of sit back and laugh as people like put the engine together incorrectly or like forget to screw in this or that part. Or I don't know what it is. I guess I have at least a couple people watching out there. Like, what do you guys like about watching this stream? I mean, in the specifics of this game, I suppose. I guess one thing that's nice, if for no other reason, there's not really any, like, there's an overarching story of what I'm supposed to be doing and that sort of thing, but I'm not, like, there's not any reason for me not to just keep yammering on like an idiot the whole time, so, like, that much is kind of nice. So it's very, like, conversational, and it's probably easy to look back and forth between, like, GTA 5, yeah. I've thought about playing some GTA 5 on this channel, but, like... Mostly I want to play like the role-playing type stuff. Some of those servers are kind of hard to get into. I think once you've established yourself in a server, maybe it's better, but like just even get your name out there, or like put together a character and start working on it. I don't know how interesting that would be. I know it is kind of a thing that people are doing right now, so I mean it must be at least interesting enough. But and who knows, like, I used to play a lot of the GTA 5, like, I forget what it's called, but like the, like, serial killer modes or whatever. Like one person's, you know, the killer with the shotgun and everyone else has, like, what is it, the baseball bats or something? I think it's like 7 and 9 for these. Try not to flip back and forth too much between the bolt sizes chart and like my stream, because I don't want to miss what you guys are saying out there. But at the same time, if I keep getting all this stuff just all the way wrong, that's kind of boring too. I want to make some amount of progress on this. Alright, the alternator requires... okay, 10 millimeter, 7 millimeter. And then the screwdriver to like position it once I've got the fan belt. But I haven't even bothered buying the fan belt yet, so not really going to worry about that. Last time I worried about the fan belt kind of like right away, and I don't feel like I really actually need to, because you can pretty much put the engine in the car and then attach the fan belt after the fact. That's probably why they have it as like the one item still required to finish the game that's like on the other side of the lake. Yeah, Minecraft PC. I've got a buddy, I don't know why he doesn't do more streaming. He used to do streaming, but he did like piano stuff. I think he plays piano, but I think he should honestly get into streaming Minecraft. He's actually one of the moderators on one of the Reddit, like the Minecraft Reddit thread, I believe, so yeah. Yeah, what did happen to the chat? I think everyone's just watching intently, supposedly. I'm trying to balance, like, I don't want to let my guy go to sleep just yet because the sun's still out. I just want to wake up early tomorrow and get across the lake over to the store over there with the boat, so I can buy the fan belt and all that stuff. Try to maybe make an entire day of like buying all the stuff I need. Yeah, there are 7 people in here, which is pretty nuts, but I don't know, like, people were saying a lot, but I don't know. Makes me wonder if maybe Fluffy got in trouble or something. So I don't think he's supposed to be up right now. He or she, I guess I've never really ever asked, I don't think, but yeah, I think Fluffy's supposed to be up at the moment. So hopefully I haven't gotten that person in trouble. Alright, probably start working on some of the transmission stuff here. Yeah, the distributor, let me see real quick. I'm sure it's got some kind of screw on it. And it's just one, I think. Yeah, one of the 6 millimeter ones. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Here's fingers crossed, Fluffy. Not hoping you get in trouble tonight either. Although I am curious, like, do you have school tomorrow, or are you guys back in school by this point? You put the carburetor on this side? I forget. Might be on the other side. Actually, I'm gonna get the engine hoist going at this point. I think that's probably the way to go. Yeah. I mean, for sure, it's nice to sit down to stream. Do you sit down to a stream? I get what you're saying. I thought you were saying like you did all your streams standing up, which would be bizarre. I don't think I've ever seen anyone who like stands up to do a stream. Maybe if people like, I don't know. Have you ever seen anyone like stream a Wii game? That would be weird. Like, at least one that has specific motion controls. I feel like that'd be somewhat uncomfortable to watch, actually. You know, actually, like, when I was a kid, when I was probably about Fluffy's age, realistically, I used to, like, I could not sit still to play a video game, and I'm kind of still that way a little bit, honestly. But I used to be really bad. Like, if I was sitting down, I couldn't stay seated. I'd just basically have to, okay. Nice. Sometimes the engine hoist doesn't work so well. But yeah, I would end up like standing up and like pacing around and just get way too into the game. I don't think that's super uncommon. Like, I don't know. I just love video games. I always have. I'm sure I always will. My guess is that I would die either with like a mouse or controller in my hand. You know, school for 4 weeks. It's crazy. What about you, Fluffmeister? I'm guessing you might have school started by now, right? Oh, I did probably the thing that made me the most famous the other day, by the way, which is to say that Markiplier put out a tweet real quick, and he's got like, you know, because he's Markiplier and famous and whatever, he gets to like have his own custom server rules on PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. So I actually played a game with him the other day, and he actually shot and killed me, which is kind of cool. But like he played a modified version of the game, which is I think actually pretty interesting. Like, so basically him and his squad were like just normal people who can like pick up guns and still kill people, and everyone else is like a zombie that had to like try and punch him to death. Yeah, so I mean, I'm out of school at this point for me, obviously. Yeah, Freddie was saying 4 weeks till they've got to start again there. I have a bad habit of assuming people are like this gender or that based on names, so I don't know. I'm gonna try not to do that necessarily, but like I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say Freddy's a guy for sure, and Fluffy I'm less sure about just because it's kind of like a fursona type name, and that could go either way. Realistically, I need to do the timing stuff. I believe that's probably what I'm missing here. Well, it's getting pretty like late in the game world, so it's getting a little bit difficult to see what's going on every side of the motor here. Gonna try and push this around and see if I can. Yeah, I think it's probably time for me to put in the camshaft. That sounds right. Where's that at? This has got to be hard for you, as in like putting the car together is hard, or just like trying to keep up with the chat and also play this game while also trying to maintain some level of being entertaining. That part's definitely hard. It's like this game isn't exactly like a thrill ride, right? Like it's not. You know, a lot of people like watching, and I think I understand, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people like watching first-person shooters or like horror games or things that are like inherently, even if the streamer isn't the best, it's still somewhat entertaining just because of the gameplay. But like this game itself, I guess if you like the car, yeah, like part of it's the car being hard to build, but then the other part is like it's just kind of hard to like. This game isn't. I'm not gonna say that the game is bad, but like because I don't think it is. I'm having a lot of fun playing it, but at the same time, it's not super helpful at like allowing you to do certain things. Like I think I should be able to put the camshaft in right now, and I'm pretty sure that's where it goes. But like to get the specific like hole lined up and everything, and make sure it gives me that check mark so that I can actually put it in there, is really really delicate sometimes. And so that's something that is frustrating. So maybe I'll move over back to the gearbox and see if I can put like the. That's I believe the flywheel maybe right there. So the clutch pressure plate should be. I can't remember if it's something I should be able to attach at this point or not. So I'm pretty sure the clutch cover plate goes over the clutch pressure plate. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I bet I have to put the crankshaft pulley on down here. Yeah. It seems somewhat familiar. That might be like a 10 or something. Yeah, this is really hard putting this car together. I've done it once before. Like I'm coming back to the stream honestly, like I said, kind of because it was in a way where I got my start with this channel. A lot of people, they're among my highest viewed videos, if you go back and look, is the My Summer Car thing. And I don't know if it's because people like the thumbnail I made for it, or if it's maybe because people just enjoy watching streams of this game, or I have no idea, man. As much as I do YouTube, I have no idea why people like to watch what they like to watch. You got me. But like, I pretty immediately got, you know, 150 views in all the videos I did of this, so I thought at least for my 50th video it might might be fun to come back and do this game at least partially over again. And I absolutely could be wrong about that too. Welcome back. All you missed was me trying to figure out the right size spanner I need, which I thought it was the 10, and I thought I grabbed the 10 and tried the 10, but it didn't seem to work at first. But is this? Oh, the crankshaft pulley. Okay, that's my bad. Let's take a look at this again. Crankshaft pulley. Okay, it's not 10, it's 11. How frustrating. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Is that like a YouTube rule, like you're only allowed to or Google or whatever you want to say? Like the rule is you have to keep the same name for 9 months and then you can change it? I wonder what the rule is for custom URLs, because I'm not to the point where I could have one yet. I'm eagerly awaiting the day I can, because I'd love to just be youtube.com/mildkratz. That would be great. But in order to do such a thing, I've got to have 100 subscribers, which, you know, I'm well on my way at this point. But in the meantime, like, you know, youtube.com/ who knows, little p, big T, small r, q, xl, whatever. So I wonder if once you have a custom URL, I wonder if you can ever change that again. Because for the moment, I certainly don't have a problem with being mildkratz, but who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever change my name, but it might be interesting to change my URL at some point. No, I for sure don't want to put the gearbox on yet. I don't know why I'm doing that. I think you can basically watch me start to lose focus at this point. You know, maybe I should work on the suspension for a little while. Although it's getting pretty dark out there. Nah, I'm gonna call it an in-game day real quick and hit the hay. I probably should be doing that in real life too, but I'm just not interested in that quite yet. It's only 3 o'clock here. It's not too bad. One of my first subscribers, or within my first, you know, 24 subscribers, was a young kid named Chris who absolutely loved when I play this game. So he'll either be A, really excited to find out that I played it last night and watch the video tomorrow, or he'll be really disappointed to find out that I played it live and he wasn't here to see it. But I can't remember if he's actually from Finland or something. Here's a fun trick for anyone who hasn't played this game yet. This is among the things I remembered. So if you hold Q, you can basically, like, I don't know, Casper the Friendly Ghost to the wall here, right? Fill up your bucket, go back, grab your ladle. Cool. And then just, like, grab water from through here and throw it on the sauna, which is the way you get clean in this game. Whoops. And I probably don't even have to, like, yeah, I can probably just do this. So I probably don't even really have to bend over. I feel like once the game developers have figured out there's a way to make showering in this game somewhat easy, they'll figure out a way to fix this and go back to making it really frustrating and time consuming. Because most of the elements of this game are really frustrating and time consuming. Which is why I wasn't sure I wanted to do this stream tonight, just after having dealt with, like, all those audio difficulties. But I guess I'm pretty glad I did. giving some people out there something to watch at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Alright. I think I might need to head to the store here pretty soon just to get some groceries. Although, yeah, I need to drink some of this water real quick too. Alright. Whoops, forgot, don't want to carry the ladle all the way around. Just leave that in here. People are also saying, like the, I don't know, people you might call the pros of this game tell you to keep the water running too. I guess it's like the person inside of me that knows what an electric bill looks like if you do that sort of thing, or a water bill in that case, I guess, doesn't want to keep that running, but you know, it's a video game. And I'm role-playing as a 19-year-old who doesn't have to pay his bills, so yeah, I'll just leave it running. I think, let's find out if I still have, yeah, I do, look at that. I still have the controller mapped for this. Okay, handbrake in on this guy. I'm gonna do my very darndest not to flip this thing over or drive into the lake, because I've done either one of those things before and it's not particularly fun. Alright. I was gonna close the door, but I really don't have a good handle on doing that, and I kind of don't care either. So let's get down to the boat, and we're about to make probably pretty close to a full day of just hauling stuff back and forth. If I can remember how to, oh yeah, enter. Let's say if I can remember how to get out of the car. I hadn't thought it had really been that long since I played this game, but I sure am having a more difficult time playing it than I thought I might. Come on. There we go. Alright. So we're gonna aim. That island right there is actually like kind of a game changer, and just in terms of the fact that it's a really good waypoint to know where town is. I guess you can kind of see it from here. Otherwise, it's really easy to not know how to get to town. Another thing I might do, I think it'd be a good idea to dock my boat actually at this island house real quick and turn the lights on. Because if you don't, you can run into an issue before. Like when I was playing this as a, you know, on a stream the last time, I got to this house in the middle of the island and basically had to like sleep to even save my life. What do you do in this game? So the entire point of this game, by the way, my summer car, it takes place in Finland, and like you're a 19-year-old kid and your parents are out off on vacation, and basically the car that you were the beginning of the game is you being born, and I skip past it just because it's like a little bit gross, because you're literally being birthed out of your mother's womb at the beginning of the game. But you're born into the back of this car, and then you flash forward, you know, 19 years. Your parents are on vacation, and it's your job to put the car together while they're gone. So it's just a simulation game where it's kind of like a boring version of The Sims, where your entire job in this game is to put together that car. So that's what I'm doing. I'd much rather just be playing The Sims, and you know, for as much as it kind of wouldn't matter at this point, I probably should, but I don't know. It's just a real quick trip down memory lane for me in terms of like where I've been in my YouTube career so far and where I'm headed. But whatever. It's a weird simulation game. I don't know. It's the best I can best I can say. The only thing that's kind of similar to it might be Car Mechanic Simulator, but that takes all of the putting a car back together elements of this game and makes them a lot easier and like a lot more streamlined. Whereas this tries to simulate everything, and so it's just very, very time consuming. Like, I'm honestly making pretty good progress on putting the engine together back there. I'm provided I don't mess anything up, you know, it wouldn't be more than a couple hours probably before I could at least get the car started, potentially like moving. But as of right now, like I haven't worked on the suspension at all or anything. Oh, welcome back. Does your internet die kind of a lot, or like not really? Is this a common problem for you? I've been having internet issues recently, and like part of them, or part of my internet issues, I think, is that I think I've got like a mouse or a rat like somewhere up in my attic, and it keeps chewing through Ethernet cables. And I have to like run an Ethernet cable from upstairs downstairs through my attic, so it's just, yeah, it becomes a problem. What is this? Oh, it's just a bucket. So there's, I'm confused as to what this really is. I think there's a light somewhere in here. Maybe not. Oh, it's a candle. Oh, weird. Okay, cool. I'm still glad I stopped here for a second, just because like that bed can be, no joke, a lifesaver. It is fixed. Yeah, you get like 7 and 9 and 7. Yeah, I don't know. For me, there's a lot of different tricks to YouTube, right? And some of it, at the very least, is there's a lot that can be said about a good thumbnail. And so if you have a decent computer, and if you know, your parents don't mind or whatever, you should see about trying to get a, there's a free software, a free piece of software called GIMP 2.8, and that's what I use, GIMP 2.8. And I don't remember what it stands for. It's like graphical yada yada something. And uh-oh, it's storming. Well, my character might die. Potentially. I don't want to. I shouldn't be out in the middle of the lake while it's storming. But like, if you can get GIMP, that'll be something you could maybe follow a few tutorials on and try and learn how to make better thumbnails. So a lot of mine are obviously photoshopped. The one for this game, I don't really have a Lamborghini. Like, if you guys know who Ty Lopez is, he was that guy who was running YouTube ads for a long time that said, here in my garage, I got my this or that, whatever. Let me see. Okay, cool. But yeah, so like I was kind of trying to make fun of that. What is that? BMG Drive? But yeah, like honestly, a good thumbnail can be, and this is what all different YouTube people will say too, can actually grab people's attention. And you want to have like your own face in the thumbnail somewhere, and if you can be doing some kind of like pose or something, it kind of just, like, people's eye are drawn to that sort of thing. So yeah, and then also, I mean, you just have to kind of advertise yourself too. Let people know that you have a YouTube channel, because at the very least, like, it's kind of an interesting thing about you, you know? It's something to talk about. And at worst, people will be like, oh, that's stupid, or I don't care, right? Like, I mean, if someone tells you outright they don't care about your YouTube channel, like, that might be hard to hear. But it's kind of like, the truth is, you could tell they didn't care already because they're not, like, one of your subscribers paying much attention. Most of these videos, The Chase Part 1, a sucky role-playing game. Yeah, I've never heard of it, that's for sure. What do you do in The Chase? Is it on Steam? Maybe I'll have to take a look at it. And I'm gonna give you another generic YouTube tip here too, which is to say that, like, another good thing you can do is just include people. Like, collaboration is a big thing, but some way to get people excited about your YouTube channel is to make them a part of it. So, like, yeah, if you have any friends at school who aren't completely afraid of the idea of doing a YouTube video together, get them excited and involved with it too, because then they can tell other people they know, hey, you know, like, I appeared on this video on my friend's channel, and you know, you should take a look at it, and then people are on your channel again. yeah, an intro. They made a role-playing game at our house. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, you and your brother made a role-playing game. Cool. You know, something I've been thinking about adding to my channel. Yeah, an intro is a big one too, by the way. You have an intro? An intro, I've been trying to work on that too, but I want something that's not super completely generic or whatever. Let's make sure I say hey to this dude real quick. Yeah, I just don't want something that's like super generic or whatever. I've got different friends who work in like graphic design, certainly not. I wish I had friends who worked in animation, because I feel like that's something that would be really valuable. I just unfortunately don't know anyone. Make sure I buy the fan belt while I'm here. Some boat fuel. Some oil. I don't remember how much of all this stuff I need, but I might as well buy it all now. You want to just buy everything. What does that say? Yeah, the rest is going to pop out here in a second. Buy everything, and then just like, at the very worst, leave it outside here. You have one bit you can't put in your videos, huh? Is it too adult in nature, or what? Oh, you have one. Oh, but you can't put it in your videos. I think I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I mean, I know I could probably buy like a kind of pseudo-generic intro off of like Fiverr or something, or have one put one together for me. But I'm kind of trying to decide for myself too, like what my channel is about, firstly, and like what kind of intro that I would have, you know, like what makes my channel different. And kind of give myself some time to build like inside jokes or things for my fans to appreciate before I really get into like, you know, an intro too much. I'm trying to play to my strengths, so like the biggest thing I have right now is like some of my video editing skills and like my photo editing skills. And the fact that I can just like endlessly talk, even if I don't really have anything to talk about. A gaming PC, yeah, it's hard to avoid being a YouTuber and having a nice PC. And like, I don't know, even a nice PC now, something decent costs anywhere between $600 to $800, even without a monitor, keyboard, or any of the peripherals, webcam, whatever. I'd say the current rig that I'm using, it's too old. It's probably like 2 to 2.5 years old. And some videos that were short, and a video called New Intro. Gotcha. Oh, that's something else I need to be working on too, is maybe like a channel trailer, like an actual trailer, because right now I just think it has like one of my more recent videos where I'm just talking to the camera as one of my like new videos for people who show up to my channel. But I think that's something I'm kind of missing out on. Yeah, the gaming PC is kind of tough though. Like I think I was in the middle of saying, like basically the one I'm using now is probably roughly 2 to 2.5 years old, and it's getting on the point where it's like kind of almost too old to play a lot of the newer games, and especially too old to stream them. Whoops, and it's not necessarily great for like video editing purposes either. You can get something right now? You can or you can't? And what do you mean by that? I'll go ahead and ask you guys, since you seem to be hanging out with me tonight, of the games that are out right now, and since you guys are both people who have alerts on and pay pretty close attention to when I stream things, what's a game that's out right now, even if I would have to buy it, that you guys would like to watch me stream? Yeah, I mean, not a few hours, but I'm going on like an hour and 15 minutes at this point. I think just because this is like my 50th video, I plan on going maybe a little bit longer than usual. I might go for like maybe 2 hours. I don't know. I don't otherwise have too much going on. The only thing that's really uncomfortable about streaming, Friday the 13th, yeah, it is dedication. For better or worse, I'm taking this YouTube thing pretty seriously right now. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I have a difficulty in staying focused on something for a long time, but I don't know. I enjoy doing YouTube stuff, right? Like, I enjoy waking up and it says like, hey, this person commented on your video, or you have a couple new subscribers and that sort of thing. It really does keep me going, and doing like all the video editing and stuff. And I think a good sign, by the way, this is just another generic YouTube tip I'll say, is that if you can play, I mean, if you make a video, right, and then you play it back and you watch it yourself, and there are things about it and parts about it that make you laugh, that's a pretty good sign. Like, in terms of if you're going for, you know, a laugh and that sort of thing. And that's kind of where most of my entertainment sensibilities go. Like, I know that this stream hasn't been particularly like funny or anything. This is more just like me yammering on. But I don't know, when I'm trying to make a video that's got any kind of polish and stuff, I usually plan a script and like have a few jokes ahead of everything and stuff. Yeah, I'm tired too, so I get it. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight, Freddy. I hope to see you back here again at some point. But yeah, and I will take your advice. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoy making videos too, for sure. Yeah, I will try and take your advice, Freddy, and play some Friday the 13th. I played it a little bit off camera now, just to kind of get like the idea of the controls and whether I like the game or not. And although I don't know, like, I don't know how much I'm in love with the game, nor do I think it's like the best game I've ever played. But it's not bad either. Like, I think I could see why people would stream it. And it's like way less scary than I thought it might be. I think honestly it's kind of cheesy, which is okay because I think those movies are kind of on the cheesy side too. I have a random reaction to stuff. Yeah, I don't mind that. Like, I'll write a script for a lot of my videos, and like whether or not I strictly stick to the script or not isn't necessarily always the case. So I do like to improvise at least a little bit, and obviously doing these types of streams all the time is pretty good practice on improvising. But yeah, I don't know, like for the most part, yeah, I don't know. There's a part of me that's like a writer, I think, too, or wants to be an actor and that sort of thing. So for me, I like to script things out. I think it can help keep a video focused on saying something in particular to get a message across. So that's kind of why I do it. But yeah, I can see why, like, I think people like the genuineness of things in YouTube too. So I would definitely understand just kind of like, just for fun doing, you know, reaction videos and stuff. And obviously reaction videos are like among the popular types of videos you can do too. People love reaction stuff. Hey, who wants to watch me litter real quick? You shouldn't litter, but I'm just gonna go ahead and throw some beer cans in the lake. Sweet. Haven't really played much games. I have only played Telltale games so far. I gotcha. Whoops, I keep doing that. Keep accidentally like activating sticky keys, which is when you hit shift too much. You have to press shift to run in this game, and so I'm obviously trying to run everywhere so as not to like waste everyone's time. Thug life. Yep, I'm a real thug. Throwing my empty beer bottles into the lake, littering and such. I'm a real rebel. Some of these cars, by the way, like, not this one, I think there's like a muscle car somewhere in the middle of the island you can actually drive around and stuff too, so you can basically steal people's cars. I think you can also ride that bus, but I am for sure not going to do it, because I don't know where it takes me, and I need to keep a pretty close eye on, like, my guy really needs to pee at this point, and he probably should eat something too, and he's apparently pretty thirsty. So I'm gonna take the grocery bag back to the boat, and if I really have to, I think I can like basically burst it open and like all the stuff that's in there will come flying out, which I don't want to do. But if I have to, I will to survive. Then like I can basically eat everything. Also, it still looks like it's kind of like storm clouds and stuff up there a little bit, over the lake at least. So I'm hoping like I don't die trying to make it back to my house, because that would be not particularly fun. So it seems like you're probably still out there, Fluffy. I guess I'll ask you, because I'm just curious, like, what other YouTubers do you watch? And like, what do you like about those YouTubers and stuff? And like, what do you like? I don't know, I guess you could say, what do you like about me? But like, what other YouTubers do you like? And am I like those YouTubers? Do you live stream or make videos more? So it seems like recently I've been live streaming a lot more, but that's just kind of like circumstantial, right? I think between the two, I like to make a more polished, structured video as opposed to just doing a live stream. But I've also pretty immediately seen the benefit of doing a live stream. Like, you can do a live stream for a couple of hours and stuff, and, you know, get some different people to drop by, and it's a good way of being, firstly, more interactive with some of your fans. Because sometimes people will watch your videos and really like them, but they won't necessarily be compelled to leave a comment, and that's fine. And I guess some people watch live streams too and, you know, sit through the whole thing without ever saying anything, and I think that's kind of like strange in a way. But I'm not gonna say that it's like super weird either. I kind of get it. I'm not always in the mood to talk, but sometimes I want to hang out with somebody. I feel like that's what live streaming is. But this channel is called Obversed. Okay, if I'm pronouncing that right at all or not, but sounds cool. And buy some juice, I guess. No, I guess I can buy some chips. Obversed. You said your brother's like 14 or something? So what kind of videos does he do? Like more gaming stuff? Oh, that's right. So if I buy food, it automatically teleports to that plastic bag that's now in my boat, which is kind of problematic because I was hoping it would be like right outside. So, well, that kind of stinks because now I'm gonna have to like basically rip open that bag and then like move everything very slowly between the boat and the van, which was what I was hoping to avoid. But like, oh, this game is frustrating. Like, basically going to the store and buying all this stuff takes nearly a full in-game day, which I for one don't think is particularly fair. At least as best I'm aware, though, you can't actually die from dirtiness in this game. You can die from thirst, so I do need to get back to the boat and probably throw a few more empty beer cans into the lake. Makes vlogs and only uploads Tuesdays and Thursdays. So does that mean, so does he not do streams? He does like strictly closed edit videos where like he just works on them and then puts them up? Because I can see the benefit of both, you know. Like I would love to just do maybe like editing of videos and like just putting out things that I would, you know, have absolute creative control over, right? It's like one of the things that's at least a little bit difficult about doing a stream is that like you've got to be talking the whole time, and I don't know, just based on pure probability, if you're talking for 2 hours straight, there's a much better than usual chance you're going to say something stupid or that you would otherwise not have said, and then like look back and be like, well, I wish I hadn't said that or whatever. And like then you're talking about maybe deleting one of your streams, and if you do that, I think people tend not to like when you delete your streams, or they think like, well, why did he do that or whatever. And some people enjoy these streaming videos. I've never done a stream unless you count the ones he deleted that were very stupid. Well, I'm gonna say I don't count those because he obviously didn't want me to. He wasn't proud of them and didn't want me to see them. So, for me, I don't know. It's the hardest part of being a YouTuber in general, by the way, is just getting to the point where you like yourself. That's kind of the hardest part of being a person, I think for the most part, people are the hardest on themselves, right? They don't see their own qualities that other people like in them. And that's just kind of like a hard part of just being human in general. But yeah. My guy's really tired. I'm gonna like pass out in the middle of the lake and drown or something. I really just need to make it over to that island and I'll be, I think, okay. That is my hope. But yeah, so he vlogs, so he just does like human interest stuff, like he'll just talk about different topics, or does he try to be like, does he try to be funny, or does he just try and be informative or educational? The worst, you have the worst commentary? It's hard, but like you're smart to get into it at the age you are now. If I'm being honest, even if maybe you look back in a few years and think like, if you do think your videos are embarrassing, you can always like delete videos or whatever. It's not like the biggest deal. And I think like some people look at people who delete YouTube videos and they're like, well, why did you do that? But at the same time, your brother's funny, is what you're saying? I got you. But like, I don't. At the same time, you're practicing, right? Whether you're realizing it or not, you are actually practicing. And there's a really smart dude who wrote a book called Outliers. His name's Malcolm Gladwell, and he talks in that book about how anyone who does something for 10,000 hours can be considered a master at that thing. So you're smart to get in while you're 10 years old and get some practice in at the very least, because, you know, if nothing else, like, you'll be more prepared if it's something you want to do continuing on. And it's one of those things too, like the more subscribers you get, the more people you have talking about your videos, the more you're going to start kind of like winning, you know, like, oh, the more things will kind of like, you know, be on your side. Alright. He's dying of fatigue. Actually, I think these beers, like, for whatever reason, make me less hungry slightly. I'm gonna drink a few more of those. Continue to be a rebel and throw those in the lake. And take a poo, or not take a poo, take a nap. There's an outhouse outside. Actually, the outhouse, by the way, yeah, you can pee in the toilets and stuff, sure, but they're also your way of like saving the game. So we'll take a whiz real quick. I'll catch up on some comments here. He turned on the LED behind his LEDs behind his TVs late at night, turned the camera on, said the demons were coming. It's hilarious. It's his try not to rap challenge video. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it lets you put links in the commentary or like in the comments, or otherwise I would have you just say, hey, put it in a link, and you know, I'll take a look at it. But I guess you could actually, if you want to. I don't think I mean, I've got a way in my About section on my homepage. Are you watching like on a tablet or like on your game system or something, or are you watching on PC? So if you're watching on PC, it might be pretty, I guess you're tapping out comments, aren't you? So you're probably watching on PC. If you go to my About section on my homepage, you should be able to send me a message actually. So if you want to send me a link, I'll take a look at the video. And maybe I'll even leave a nice comment. Maybe I'll leave a mean comment. Who knows? Try not to rap video was his 50th video. Cool. So how long has your brother been doing YouTube stuff? Alright, let's try and get back to that blue van over there. Hopefully I can hold off my hunger long enough that I don't have to break open this grocery bag. It's really helpful if I can get it at least into my house first. It's the only thing I really need in the garage out of it are like the clutch and brake fluid and the fan belt. 3 old channels called Snake, Venom 1, Nightwolf, and it's Zed. So, Snake Venom 1, is that anything to do with like the Metal Gear Solid franchise? Because I know that like the main character in those franchise go by usually some kind of code name involving the word snake. The most recent one being Venom Snake. It's been doing YouTube for 3 years, huh? Just made it up. Very cool. It's just an interesting coincidence. 3 years though, that's a long time. I guess, yeah, like it was a lot easier for me to get to 50 videos because I've gotten to the point now I almost do a live stream nearly every day, for better or worse, you know. And sometimes it's something that people really don't watch, but it's okay. I kind of like almost just do it for my own enjoyment too. Never played Metal Gear Solid ever. Well, that's kind of a shame. Like, some of those games are pretty fun. But yeah, usually they're at least rated like teen or mature. So I don't know like what kind of so like the house that I grew up in and stuff, my parents were pretty like strict as to what I would watch and like the kind of things, you know, they thought were acceptable or not acceptable. So as a result, I didn't play a lot of games that were rated more than probably teen growing up. Yeah, always tune in. For certain, I appreciate it. Nice, the Phantom Pain. Yeah, I really like... 3 is what? Snake Eater? And like, you know what? As much as like I kind of enjoy those games and think they're kind of cool, I'm actually not super fond of snakes. I don't think most people probably are. And Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of the only games in the series that actually has snakes. I mean, since it's called Snake Eater, you can literally eat the snakes. You kind of have to, like, to survive. Yeah, I thought the Phantom Pain was pretty cool. I need to play it more. I've got it, and I've played it kind of, you know, some. I was going to say I've played it a lot. I haven't really played it that much. I could definitely stand to play it more. I thought it was pretty cool, though. I've played most of the Metal Gear Solid games. Like, I played the original Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation. Whoops, I'm going to leave this right where it's at, because it's boat fuel. You like to keep a case of beer in the boat, just as kind of like almost a survival kind of thing. And gonna haul this back to the house. That's going in the car at some point. We got some oil over here, at least enough probably get back to the stores. That's good too. Alright, I'm gonna call that a successful grocery store run right there. It only took me like most of the entire day, so that's good. Throw that in there, close that. Alternatively, I could have just driven the blue van over there, but as long as that took, like it honestly takes as long or longer to drive the blue van over there. And it's twice as obnoxious, I would say. Played some of the Phantom 5, Phantom Pain, Metal Gear Solid 5 on your old channel. So what made you say it's your old channel, what made you restart your channel at some point then? Like why did you decide you didn't want to do, or you didn't want to have your old channel and start a new one? Yeah, I think you mentioned being embarrassed by some of your older videos and things, but is that why you started over, or some other reason? I guess I technically have an old channel too. And that's more back when I was like still doing podcasting and stuff. Butterfly Halo 06. Or sorry, Buttery Halo 06. Whoops, that definitely does not say butterfly. Sorry, I'm trying to read things quick tonight. And I'm also getting pretty tired at this point. My own fatigue meter is pretty high. I should have bought some mosquito spray while I was at the store too. If you can hear that mosquito buzzing around my head, that doesn't really go away unless you get the mosquito spray. There we go. Yeah. Some of that stuff even actually stayed in the refrigerator. Look at that. Alright, let's eat a bunch of sausages, I guess. Let me guess, the fan belt's probably in here. No, the clutch fluid is for sure. Let me just organize my refrigerator here real quick. Very cool. 70 subs, went down to 22 subs where we started. Okay. Yeah, it hasn't been too much of a problem for me yet, but I feel like it might be a hard thing to do to retain subscribers. It's because people's, I don't know how to explain it, but I think sometimes people's tastes change, and so like they're just tired of seeing your old mug on like their homepage or something. Who even knows what happens in the meantime? But you know, some people, they tune in, they tune out. Some people leave and some come back, some don't. That's why I think it's important, though, that like at least some part of you does this for yourself, like, and you do it because you think it's fun or whatever. Because people are kind of flaky. They come and go. So I think another thing I might try to do, by the way, I'm not trying to spread myself too thin or do too many things with my channel, just because I feel like that's, there's a danger in doing that sort of thing. And like I'd rather do a few things really well than try to do everything and not do anything very well. I think another thing I'd like to do, though, would be review movies. So I might try and get into that some too. I think kind of a fun fan service thing to do too, because most people who end up liking your channel, yeah, because you find it enjoyable and have a good time. That's the right reason to do it, by the way. So like, don't do it because you understand there's an opportunity to make money or whatever. Like, don't do it for those reasons. Do it because, for a couple different reasons. First of all, because you enjoy doing it. That's kind of one of the more important ones. And then also because you have something you want to tell people, you know. Like, I think it's important to have a message and kind of like try to make a difference in the world. If you can do that with a YouTube channel, then that's awesome, you know. That's kind of a good reason to have one. But yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, but I guess I was kind of trying to say though, I've been thinking about or toying with the idea though of doing like movie reviews. It'll probably be like movies that practically no one's ever heard of, and like it probably won't be favorable reviews of these movies. But yeah, I don't know, just talk about like different movies and like if they were good or bad, why they were good or bad, and why might, you know, just give kind of like my opinions on it, kind of do a review type thing. I think that might be kind of fun, and at least different, because I don't know, there's so many different gaming channels out there and stuff, and video games are definitely my first love, but like, I kind of want to show people that I'm interested in more things than just video games. Yeah, enjoy it, and making content that people enjoy. I think that's, yeah, that's a really good point. I'm actually glad you said that, because, like, here's the thing. I hope that, you know, you have alerts turned on for my channel because you like being here and like you know, feeling like we're hanging out or whatever, or just like something about being on my channel brightens your day, I assume. So that's good. I'm glad that, like, for someone in the world, I have that influence, you know? It's kind of a cool thing. Like, on days that I stream and we get to kind of, like, hang out in this setting. Thumbnails are lit. Good, I'll have to keep that. Thanks, fam. I'll have to keep that in mind. But yeah, like, I work pretty hard on my thumbnails. Like, it's not like what I do with them is really that complicated, but it's very time consuming. So, like, yeah, it's just like for everything that whenever I'm adding myself to a scene, it basically starts with me taking a picture and then getting rid of all of the pixels around the outside of the picture that aren't me. Like, I cut a generic version of myself out, and then, like, after that, you know, I try to, like, make a much more clear picture of myself, and that it does take a long time. But I think it's worth it. And, like, just basically the way I do video games, typically speaking, if I like a game well enough, I might do a review video about it, or like a first look. I'll probably start by doing like a first look at a game, then I'll play it maybe on stream a few times, and then at the end I might have some final thoughts and do a review on the game. That's basically what I did with this game. And so if I make a good thumbnail, and it took me a long time, I'll probably end up using that same thumbnail for the entire series. It's a good way to let my viewers know too that, like, if you're seeing this thumbnail, it's tied to this series that I'm doing. And I've seen other YouTubers do it that way, and I think it works out pretty well for them too. But yeah, if you're gonna do anything, like, put your heart into it. And so, like, for me, that definitely involves, you know, making a good thumbnail. It's something that I know how to do, and it's something that kind of separates my channel from other people's, so you gotta work hard on that stuff. It's starting to show signs of paying off too. Alright. I don't, like, okay, so have you seen any of this game before tonight, like, or is this your first experience with it? Because this game's so weird. So, like, the whole thing takes place in Finland, right? Where apparently in Finland, they don't like taking showers as much as they like sitting in saunas and, like, sweating everything out. You know, I was thinking about making a video on, like, where to get the right software to make thumbnails, and then also, like, how to do it. And I've heard different people say, like, yeah, you know, that's a good idea, I wish you would do that, and that sort of thing. So I will have to give it some thought. And just because, I don't know, like, there's probably 100 different videos out there of people who can tell you how to make a decent thumbnail, but I don't know, if I'm your favorite person to watch on YouTube and I have a video telling you how to make thumbnails, then you'll probably watch mine, you know? And that's kind of how this stuff works. All of yours are random, but some of them are kind of good. So do you use any kind of, like, resources to, like, build custom thumbnails? Or do you, or is that what you mean by they're random? Like, they're just randomly picked by YouTube? Because YouTube does, like, pick, I think they randomly pick 3 different thumbnails from your video that you can use. And I've used some of the generic thumbnails and stuff from YouTube too. But yeah, like, they try and take, I think the way it works, they try and take, like, action poses and stuff and things that they think are good thumbnails defaultly for your videos. And sometimes those thumbnails are okay. For sure, for anything I'm doing with a video game, I'll make a custom thumbnail and it'll be usually funny, or, like, ironic or whatever. Thematic, usually fits a theme of some kind. And I try not to recycle too many of them either, but yeah, some of them. The Arkham video thumbnails. Yeah, so the one of, like, the Joker and then Batman crying, like, that Batman crying is actually Adam Scott from Parks and Rec. So, I don't know if you've ever seen that TV show or not, but he ends up, like, buying a Batman outfit, and, like, I don't know, it's a funny episode. Like, he's trying to treat himself, so that's how he's doing, he's treating himself to buying that costume, and, like, his friends are kind of, like, shopping with him, and he just starts crying. So I thought that was kind of a funny thing to do with that one. And then, yeah, the other one with just, like, Adam West and the Telltale logo on the back. That one didn't take me too long. just because I was able to like throw in that version of Batman just into the scene. But yeah, I think like if you want people to watch your videos, you want people to click on stuff, and actually if you want YouTube to put your thumbnail into other people's like suggestions and stuff, you have to have a thumbnail that's kind of like custom and looks pretty good, you know. That increases your chances that YouTube will try to help self-promote your video. I'm really, like, if anything, I'm just still kind of upset tonight. Like, I'm so lost as to what I'll even have to do at this point to try and get my sound to work the way I want it to. But like, basically the outlets in my house aren't that great, and like, when I plug something in, like, I don't know, the plug basically comes almost halfway back out, and it's like it's just not a very tight fit. And I guess that's something that can cause audio problems too. But long term, I'd like to get away from using a headset microphone and get back to using a mixer. And then at that point, my videos will be better too. There's so many things that go into making a good video, and things that people don't really realize. Sounds fine for you, and that's cool. Like, for me, it's just something that like I'm really picky about, and so like maybe that's why I look at that specifically. Because if some YouTubers don't have great sound, that's something that makes me want to tune out. Like if I have to like turn their videos up really loud, or if just, I don't know, there's a lot of like static or fuzz, that can be kind of distracting. Oh, you're watching it on your phone. Okay, I think that probably helps. So I think when you watch it on TV, or like if you watch it on computer, most of the videos that I watch, just because I have so much of an option to turn it up kind of louder, you probably wouldn't hear much of it, just because I've got some settings figured out. But like sometimes if you really crank up the volume on like a TV or a computer, you can hear some fuzz and stuff. And so I'm just trying to avoid those kind of things. And maybe I'm being a bit of a perfectionist or something, but I'm glad it sounds good. That's something I forget too, is like I watch a lot of YouTube on my computer, but I know that like, I don't know, you are of a younger generation than I am. I know a lot of like kids and stuff watch stuff a lot like on tablets or on their phone or whatever, you know. So like it's hard to know exactly what people are watching your videos on. But cool. It's cool that you're watching yours on your phone. Alright, let's put the taillights on at least. Maybe I can make this car look a little bit more like a car before I decide I'm done for tonight. Probably play for about 10 more minutes, and that'll be about 2 hours for me tonight. Let's say it's the rear light right. Okay. There we go. Just have to know your difference between right and left sometimes. Oh, let's definitely look in the comments when I walked into that brick wall over there. Oof. Yeah, I can't remember. I'm basically delirious from heat exhaustion. So I might have mentioned this, I might not, but sometimes I only stream for a couple hours at a time too, because when I do stream, this is another thing where it's like I'm trying to keep the sound okay, I'll turn off all the air conditioning in my room, and so things can tend to get pretty, things can tend to get a little hot in here. And I don't necessarily love that. I can't remember if I ever, I think I screwed in the subframe. I guess I could get started on like the, could probably get started on the suspension. Wishbone front right. Okay. I'm hoping that one of my early subscribers, Chris, no, I actually live with my brother. So he's about 30. Oh, geez, I had to think about that. He's like 34, and I I used to live with, I don't know, I guess like my family. It's kind of a, I don't know. The reason I'm getting into YouTube is almost kind of actually a sad story, and maybe I'll divulge more details probably if I ever get to like 1,000 subscribers or whatever. And the only reason I say that is just because it's one of the stories that I wouldn't want to tell more than, you know, a dozen times. But I used to be married, actually, and I married a nurse, and she worked at the hospital that I work at now, although I didn't actually work there at the time. And she was a good nurse and a good person, but over time she had a lot of back problems and a lot of back pain. And she went to some doctors and was taking some medicine that they were prescribing her for that pain. And over the course of a few years, it went from her taking some of that medicine to more and more of that medicine, to that medicine not really helping her for pain anymore, until eventually she started to look for, you know, illegal drugs and things she should have not have gotten into, and she ended up becoming, because of it, kind of a drug addict. I mean, there's no kind of about it. She ended up becoming a drug addict. So at that point, we couldn't stay married anymore, because I don't really do that. So we ended up getting divorced, and I moved out of the house. Actually, she lost the house, and I ended up moving out anyway, though, and back in with my brother. So this has all been an unexpected course of events. But you know, I feel like my subscribers, my fans are my friends, and I think there's a value in telling people things like that, because I don't know, like, I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to learn from that experience. You know, like, it was definitely very difficult, a very hard time for me, not a lot of fun. Just like, I don't know, it's the hardest thing I've ever gone through, right? But at the same time, I am now a stronger person because of it, and it's a valuable experience to have. And you know what? At the time that my wife was still a good person, I was very happy to be married to her, and we definitely, you know, I spent a period of my time in love, and that was fine. I look back on that fondly. You know, I have no problems. But life does not often turn out the way that you wish it would. Not specifically the way you had planned anyway. And I don't know. You just gotta keep moving on. I'm trying to do something positive now with my life, just because, you know, I could let this thing defeat me and have it be the end of who I am as a person, and just get all sad and mopey about it. But I don't want to do that, you know. I spent a long time kind of putting up with all the things she put me through, and I feel like I've lost some of my time. Yeah? Well, hey man, I'm glad to hear that you believe in me. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't believe in myself too, by the way. Like, I think I do have the right ability and talents to do these sort of things, and yeah, I think the thing, you know, the same is true for you. It's just a little bit harder for you to kind of break through at 10 years old. Like, some people do it, but I think of the 10-year-old YouTubers that are out there that are completely famous, it's a lot because, you know, they have their parents that support them and buy them all the things they need, or that kind of try and like help manage their channel and stuff, or some of them that just like try and force being a YouTube celebrity on their kids, which is kind of a weird thing to think about. It's probably true. Oh, weird. I thought I already had this out here. I think I did, and then I carried it back into the garage. But hey, I appreciate the support, absolutely, and 100%. Like, and you know what's kind of cool is that if it does happen for me, you will have been one of the very first people, you know, to have found my channel and been my fan at the beginning and everything. So that'd be awesome. And you know, if this ever became my job and like people looked forward to my videos coming out and I was in the tens of hundreds of thousands of views, neat. But you'd have a special place then, you know? Like, I would still remember you. And who knows, maybe you'd get some cool Mild Kratts related swag sent to your house or something. But for the moment, we're not I need to put the brake spindle on there. We're not particularly close to that moment. I think I've got a long way to go before I need to worry about like merchandising or like appearing at things like VidCon or something. Honestly, VidCon's one thing, but like I would be way more excited to ever be invited to E3. just because, like, I don't know, it's, you know, more video game specific, and that's kind of what I'm into, so I'd love to get, like, a sneak peek on stuff. And, like, honestly, I don't know, like, as much as it's cool to be a YouTuber, I'm still always going to be a fan of other YouTubers. Like, I would 5 more vids till my 100th video. Do you have anything special planned at all? I guess what I was saying though is, like, I would still be excited to meet, like, any of my heroes, like H3H3 or PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, any of those dudes. It'd be really cool to meet them, because I respect what they're doing for sure. And, you know, like, I would owe them something, I think, too, realistically. I think anything that I watch is something of an influence for me. I'm just going to see what the bolt size is on this. Break spindle. Lining, break lining, break lining. Oh. It's called front spindle? I forget. Actually, why don't I just do this? Spindle. 12 millimeter. What do you think you're probably going to do for your 100th video? Is it going to be anything special, or is it just going to be like whatever? Keep in mind, by the way, too, like, a lot of your YouTube heroes, like Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, and PewDiePie specifically, have, like, I think PewDiePie has, what, nearly 4,000 videos at this point? So it doesn't happen for anyone all at once, I don't think. Like, it's definitely something you have to keep practicing and keep doing all the time. And I'm ready for that. I think it's a cool thing. I love to do it, but yeah, it's definitely, it doesn't happen overnight. Why can't I put that in there? Oh, I think I have to put the brakes on, the actual brake parts, disc brakes. Yeah, sure, that sounds right. Let's do that. Hey, I gotta say, by the way, thanks for hanging out with me tonight, you know, like, it's really cool. You were here pretty much the entire stream, and in my opinion, this isn't exactly the most exciting game. Okay, so at this point I should be able to put this in here. And then, yeah, there we go. Cool. And then this shares a 14 millimeter. Alright. Think about YouTubers, they are very small. The people they meet, remember, till they have a lot of subs, and those people met early on have a special place. Yeah, for sure. I'd have to agree with that. It's like doing anything, you know, like I don't know. Yeah, I think a lot of, like, Major League Baseball players probably still remember their Little League coach for the most part. Maybe not Little League, but like high school coach. So, I don't know. It's true. But you get to make a personal connection with some of the people that keep showing up in your streams, you know? Start to feel like family a little bit. I think that's what people like about YouTube. Alright, what else? Yeah, I'm probably gonna play for another. I don't know. I could probably get this thing on the wheels, right? And get this on its wheels. Probably need to move the jack to the back of the car. I'll probably put the front wheels on right now. Oh, something else that always confuses me. It's like front right actually goes to the left side of the car just because of the way I'm looking at the car. Yeah, if I ever get to the point where YouTube affected me in the same way as that it's benefited other people, like I would for sure do the same things. One of my buddy, he watches a YouTuber who does a lot of Minecraft videos. I don't think it's the Diamond Minecart. I think it's something else. I forget. The guy basically makes a crazy amount of money doing his videos now. But one of the things that he did, which I think is at least somewhat admirable or kind of cool, is he did a big like thank you video and like a house tour of the house that basically YouTube bought him, which, you know, it's good to do things like that. It's nice to stay like appreciative and realize that your fans give you all of your power, you know. Without people in your corner, people subscribing to your channel and paying attention, I mean, you weren't going to get anywhere. Alright, 13. Should be able to put this in at this point, right? It's weird. Maybe I'll put it in once I get it back on its tires. Yeah. Yeah, it's very good to, I mean, if you can, you know, it's your responsibility, no matter how many subscribers or fans you have, to like try and do your best to show people you care, and especially those that have been around for the entire ride. Say that's, you know, those are your fan base. Those are the people who got you where you are. Because realistically, the way any of this sort of thing works is exactly how you've been saying you've been doing shoutouts on your videos and stuff for me, and that's awesome, you know. So like you're kind of spreading the wealth in terms of anyone who's a fan of yours and you know, tunes in to watch your videos, will then probably take your word for it and come check out me, and then like, I don't know, I absolutely appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know, the way the internet works, it's kind of a crazy thing anyway. Like I think about, so like those Game Grumps I had you check out, the co-host of that show is in a band, and they do some kind of like, I'm not necessarily going to say because they do kind of like some inappropriate type humor, but basically the reason they got to be the amount of famous they were is that a celebrity was like, hey, I really like this new, you know, music video from this funny band that's put out this song, right? And so like that was what got them started. Actually, the guy who got them started, I'm gonna say, do you know who Donald Glover is? Donald Glover is the guy who's gonna be playing Lando in the next Star Wars movie. He was also Troy in Community, and he's, I don't know, he's Childish Gambino. It's like his rapping thing he does. I can't remember. Let's try size 9 maybe, 9 or 10. Let's try size 10. I try size 12. But yeah, that's exactly how the internet works, which is just, I don't know, like, people who are influencers help each other out, and yeah, you have to remember, like, the people who got you where you are. hate to say it, Fluffy, but it's getting pretty close probably to my bedtime. So I'm probably going to finish putting these tires on, and that's probably going to call it for streaming for tonight. I ended up doing 2 hours, which, you know, like I hadn't actually planned on doing that much anyway. So I guess I feel okay about that. And, you know, this car is starting to take shape, too. If you really are so inclined to see the whole thing put together from front to back, you can watch my 5 other streams in this game where I do it with just a blue car instead of a yellow one. It's mostly the same things happening. But yeah, I'd like to think I'm making better progress, or at least faster progress this time. But I'm also not doing well. By the way, the world record speed run right now for this game, I think, is like 48 minutes. I'm guessing the dude starts with a fan belt already. Like, I'm guessing he doesn't like go across the boat, but I haven't also watched the video. Yeah, it would be hard enough to do this game in 48 minutes without, I mean, with the fan belt. 12, 2 times 6. Yeah, no, I know. I'm putting that together. I'm trying to pretend as the adult who should be telling you that you should go to bed, that, you know, it's that you should, but yeah, it's not really my responsibility to do so. And you're still pretty young. Like, I vaguely remember being 10 years old and like, yeah, if I got at least 3 hours of sleep, I was pretty good for the next day. I'm not saying you should make a habit of it. I think it's important to try and get sleep. But, I don't know, there's just some nights, you know. Some nights it's hard to fall asleep. Yeah, come on. Come on. I wish this game would be nice. That stuff's so, like, tricky. Oh, I had it for, like, half a second. There we go. Beauty. Terrific. I need 6. Cool. There's the ones down here. Yeah, I'm glad you stayed too. So, and by the way, technically all of this stuff is actually informational too, because although cars are all certainly a little bit different, a lot of them are mostly the same too. So you're learning a little bit about how cars go together right now, whether you realize it or not. Oh, I picked up a few other people in the stream suddenly, which is in a way kind of bad timing. So probably only planning on doing, I mean, as much as getting the back tires on right now. But if you're out there, might as well say hey. I'm Mild Kratz. It's nice to have you aboard. Thanks for the time. Yeah, you've built the car at 40 minutes. I mean, you should do a speed run then, man. Like, sounds like you're killing it. You could probably destroy it, knock out the world record right now. That or you're the world record holder, which, if that's true, that's awesome, and it's nice to meet you. Let's see. I don't remember if I like tighten those screws on before or after. I think I have to tighten them on before I put the wheels on. My guess is their size like 13 or 14. So, okay, so Adrian's Gamers, first of all, welcome to the stream. Secondly, seems like you have some experience playing this game, so I can hear it storming, and I know there are some things that about storming that can kill you in this game. Is there a chance I'm gonna get struck by lightning if I'm holding like this wrench, or no? Because I mean, I don't have permadeath on. It's not the end of the world, I guess, but like, I don't know, I'd prefer not to die. It's the coward in me, you know? I'm gonna put the other tire on and then switch spanners. Yeah, so like that's the thing about this game. Like, I don't know, it's not particularly entertaining or high energy, but like at the same time, and I think that was a good reason why I wanted to do it as my 50th video too. It's just like if people really want to chit chat, it's a great game to do that, and I'll just keep rambling basically. Because like, I don't know, although I am like, I've technically made a lot of progress through this game at this point even right now. Yeah, it's not been the most entertaining thing to watch, I'll admit. That's why I don't know, like it's weird. Like the fact that this is my most popular and successful streaming game is weird to me, because there's nothing about it that's like that I would think would make it that great of a game to stream in general. Oh, okay. Well, that was a lot of work, and I think, unfortunately for you out there who hang out with me all night, I'm not gonna name any names, Fluffy, but anything you make's bound to be good. Well, I appreciate the support. I appreciate your belief in me too. I'm gonna continue to try and do my best. We'll just see how things go. But unfortunately, I think this is where I'm gonna get off for tonight. Like I said, I'm just gonna put the tires on. I'm at nearly 2 hours and 15 minutes, so man, that's certainly good for me, you know. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate the chit chat. I appreciate the back and forth, and I hope to see you all next time. I've been Mylon Kratz. Later on.